RMJ Movie Reviews back again with another holiday movie review. And like I said previously, this is more of me kind of reviewing movies that I tend to watch around the holidays, or movies that kind of have a holiday theme in them. Last one I did Krampus, which that's a Christmas movie, and then the last one I did was Strange Days, and that's not really a holiday movie, but that movie centers around New Year's and the changing of the year. So it was around this time of year, so I went ahead and reviewed it anyway. But I'm gonna review ultimately silly quotable classic that none of us who are old enough to remember this movie when it came out. What About Bob? Starring Bill Murray and Richard Dreyfuss. I think Frank Oz directed this, who used to do like all the Muppet Creature stuff and a whole bunch of other stuff, popular stuff from back in the day. What About Bob? This movie's crazy. I can still remember, and again, like I always say, I always kind of relate the films to what a different point of my life that I was in when I saw the films. What About Bob? I actually, if I remember, it came out in 1991, and if I remember correctly, I think I was 9 when this film came out. I was 9. I think I was 9 when this movie came out, and I still distinctly remember me and my mother and my sister lived at our old house. We used to live it was a 3-story house till me and my mother moved later on. But it was our older house, and I still remember seeing the trailers for it on TV when it was like, they distinctly showed the scene where he was like, he's never gone, and then, Richard Dreyfuss opened the door and Bill Murray goes, is this some sort of, I can't remember the line he says, is this some sort of new therapy? You see? And then where he goes, Bob, what'd you do with the bombs? And you guys, they're in the house. Boom. They did give that. I mean, it wasn't until now where they gave away the whole movie in the trailers. They did give away that cap off with the house exploding in the trailers at the time, because I remember. And I remember I actually did see this movie at the theater. I did see What About Bob at the theater. A place called Southgate Movie Theater that was in Bedford Heights, Ohio. That theater's been torn down. It doesn't exist anymore. But I did see this movie at the theater when it came out. This movie's insane. It's just really crazy. And the thing that I like about it is of course I do like the old school kind of Richard Pryor, some of the National Lampoon stuff, the Eddie Murphy stuff, the raunchier kind of comedies of the 80s and the early 90s. But this also shows that you can make a movie that's just as crazy and just as funny, and it doesn't have to be profane. This movie is just, Bill Murray is basically, I took some psychology in college, and I did some social work. I'd probably best describe him Richard Dreyfuss describes him as a multiphobic personality. I don't even know if that's an actual definition in the DSM-4. Those of you who study psychology know what the DSM-4 is. I don't think that's an actual definition. I'd probably more describe him as a hypochondriac who believes things are wrong with him, but there really aren't. And Bill Murray is just insane. His interpretation of this dude who's a hypochondriac who believes he's like an agoraphobic. He also doesn't. He's afraid to leave the house. He doesn't like enclosed spaces. He doesn't like germs. I mean, he's nuts. He's absolutely crazy. And the thing that's hilarious in this movie is how, in rewatching the movie now as an adult, it makes it crazier because everybody else is crazy. Bob is crazy. Everybody around Bob is crazy. Dr. Leo Marvin, although Richard Dreyfuss kind of really plays up kind of the a-hole nature of the character, and Dr. Leo Marvin is a little bit self-absorbed, but I will say, what Bob does is totally against the rules of doctor and patient rules. You do not have close contact. Bob goes way over the line. I mean, he fakes a suicide. He stalks Dr. Leo Marvin, and everybody else is saying Dr. Leo Marvin is crazy. And although, like I said, he's self-absorbed, Dr. Leo Marvin is right. And when I watch the movie now, I really more feel bad for his character because everybody else is crazy. And I love how Richard Dreyfuss is like on but him and Bill Murray are both like shooting on all cylinders in this movie. Bill Murray is like at his top, just annoying, just kind of dry, under the radar kind of sense of humor, and Richard Dreyfuss has just got it turned up to 10. You know what I mean? What's the matter with all of you? Don't you understand? This man is crazy. I mean, it's so hilarious. And of course, the quotable line that all of us remember is "Baby steps, baby steps." I mean, that's a classic. I mean, even to this day, man, me and my friends, we still use like for example, a couple years ago, there was this girl that I was dating. And I was telling my buddy that I didn't try to kiss her yet, right? And my buddy goes on the phone. My friend was like this. He was like, oh man, you're taking baby steps, man. You're taking baby steps, So people still use baby steps, or everybody still goes, Dr. Leo Marvin. I mean, just you cannot beat that, man. I mean, this movie has so many classic lines. Of course, the number one classic line that everybody remembers from this one is where Dr. Leo Marvin tries to get Bob committed to the insane asylum, and basically what happens is Bob, I don't know if he consciously do. That's the one thing that kind of always got me in the movie, is whether Bob is actually calculated in what he's doing. They leave that kind of up in the air. The only thing that he really does that's calculated is he fakes his suicide and he stalks Dr. Leo Marvin to his summer home on vacation. But you're not really sure if Bob really knows, if he really knows that he's driving him crazy, or whether it's just Bob just is crazy. But I will say the way Bob is, I have met quite a few characters in real life now as an adult. Some females who are crazy like Bob. And trying to think how I can word this nicely. Bob doesn't know that he's crazy, but he's doing things that are totally insane. And I will say that I have met females who are very much like Bob, who are crazy, and I don't think they realize they're crazy. I'll leave it at that. But it's just funny how Bob either consciously or unconsciously dupes the staff of the insane asylum, which in real life, people with that kind of expertise would never ever happen, but this is a movie. And I just love how Richard Dreyfuss is driving him along, and Bill Murray goes, well, maybe we can do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And Richard Dreyfuss goes, everybody remembers that. It's still her. I remember when me and my cousin first saw this at the theater, and when he said, I mean, it just drove us nuts. Only Richard Dreyfuss can deliver that kind of manic, slurred, just hyper type of performance. And that's what I've always loved about Richard Dreyfuss, is when he does. I really like him in Another Stakeout too, which if anybody even remembers, there was a movie Richard Dreyfuss did with Emilio Estevez called Stakeout, and Another Stakeout. I actually really like Another Stakeout. And I like the first one too, but I kind of like the second one better. But whatever, I'm digressing. But I mean, just a classic movie. And it's just so hysterical that, like, knowing psychology, now, I mean, everything, I mean, really, in reality, Dr. Leo Marvin should have called the police on Bob. When he first came up to him, he gave him that one chance, but really, in reality, he probably would have called the cops on him, because, you fake a suicide, I mean, stuff ain't right. And then he sleeps in the room with his son with the door closed. I mean, it's, oh my God, it's just hysterical. I even love the scene where, after he comes back to the house and they're throwing the party for him, and then, Dr. Leo Marvin's sister comes up and he goes, Lily! And he goes, we're all here for you, Dr. M. Don't touch my sister! I mean, it's just the best, man. Quotable comedy from back then. It is a silly, just nuts movie. And really the driving force of this movie is just Bill Murray and Richard Dreyfuss. Like I said, their performances are turned all the way up to 10. It's a hilarious movie. It is so funny. they're both brilliant. Bill Murray, brilliant comedian. How he can push that energy but push it under the radar. Richard Dreyfuss, brilliant actor with great comedic timing, perfect combination. I love What About Bob. It's just absolutely hysterical. It's a crazy movie. That's all I got to say about What About Bob. But thumbs up my video, subscribe to my channel, leave some comments below about What About Bob. There might have been some stuff I might have been missing, or if anybody even happens to know any behind the scenes details about What About Bob. I've never heard any. I haven't looked the movie up on IMDb in a while, so I don't know. Maybe somebody might want to do that. Let's share some thoughts about What About Bob. I mean, it's a hysterical movie. I actually have an old VHS tape of digressing, but the movie Fright Night, not Colin Farrell, 1985 Fright Night, Roddy McDowall, Chris Sarandon. And I taped it off the Showtime cable network. And I actually have a bumper, a Showtime movie bumper for What About Bob. So I think I might upload that to my YouTube channel one day, just, for nostalgia purposes. But that's all I got to say about What About Bob. Guys, down below, put down all the quotable lines from What About Bob in the space below. Tell me other things that I missed about it. Okay, that's all what I got to say about What About Bob for today. And my next movie review is going to be another comedy. This one, pure classic. And it is the undisputed classic, Uncle Buck, starring John Candy, directed by John Hughes from 1989. That's a classic. RJ Movie Reviews. I'll be back soon.